Welcome to Hawthorne Hill Farm and Homestead. I'm Marilyn Cameron, and with the help of my husband Paul, we operate this lovely 46-acre farm property in the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia. Our children are grown and don't live with us anymore, but we still love this lifestyle and want to continue feeding ourselves. On our farm, we grow a wide array of market garden vegetables, berries, and orchard fruits, and garlic. Plus, we raise free-range hens for eggs, lots of meat birds in the summer. We have a flock of Shetland sheep for wool, and our newest addition to the farm is our family milk cow. Each week, we will post an episode that starts us off in the early spring and will continue until the late fall. We will show you all the things that we do on our farm to get ready for the growing season, how we care for our crops, how we raise our animals, how we make nutritional meals, bake bread, make cheese, pasta, preserves, and so much more. We hope that you will join us and will be inspired to try some new things that will help you become more self-sustaining and to fill your own larder. Thank you. To show you our latest little farm addition today. Here we go. So it's baby chick time and baby layers are here. So we've got 30 chicks in total. 10 of them are the Plymouth Barred Rock and 20 of them are Rhode Island Red chicks. They're all supposed to be female. It's a good idea to sit in with your new chicks for a few minutes, a few times a day. You want to make sure that they're all lively, that they're all getting up and walking around, that they're touching the water and getting into the food with their beaks. We start them on a medicated starter feed, which has amprolium in it as a treatment for coccidia. Coccidia is a pretty devastating problem for little chicks as it causes hemorrhagic diarrhea. Little chicks can lose condition really, really quickly and they can die. We make sure that the chicks have lots of fresh water. You'll notice that the water is a bit yellow. We add electrolyte powder to it for the first week, add about a quarter of a teaspoon per liter of water. I also put the waters up on a little table or board with a step so they can have easy access. Another important requirement is a heat light. If the barn temperature is below, say, 25 to 28 degrees Celsius, the heat light should be on day and night until the little guys develop some feathers on their backs. I put the heat light between the water and the food, leaving some space for them to sleep. I use clean straw or wood chips and add a fresh layer each day to cover up the poop. Another thing you need to have is chick grit for digestion. They will eat it on day one. It's a pretty fine particular grit that goes into their little gizzards and helps grind up the food for them. Check on your new birds. Show them where the water is. You can gently push their little heads and beak into the water and they will drink it. Another thing to check is their little vent for any signs of dried poops. It really needs to be removed so that they can have a bowel movement out of their vent. Vigorous chirping is a sign of stress in little chicks. It makes for calmer chicks if you can handle them a little bit. The best thing you can do is know what is normal, both in behavior and activity. It makes it so much easier to detect when the chicks are acting abnormally. Make sure they're not too cold. They will pile up on top of each other and one of them could get suffocated. If they're too hot, they could move away from the heat light and pile up on each other in a corner. So having the temperature right so there's an escape for a little bit of coolness or a little bit of heat as needed is wise. Make sure they're eating and drinking, alert and active. But you should know that they do sleep a lot. And when they do sleep, they look like they're dead. We use straw bales to make temporary walls in the nursery. When the chicks are a little older, they can have the run of the whole coop. At 5 weeks, we teach them how to use the ramps to go out of and into the coop, and they can go outside all day, but we do have to help them go out and in for about a week to 10 days. Our meat chicks arrived today, about a week after the layer chicks came. So we're keeping them in a separate coop in the large part of the barn. We feed these little guys organic chick starter for 3 weeks, then they'll get organic grower until they're fully developed and ready for harvest. At 5 weeks of age, the meat birds will go out, live outside in a chicken tractor, and they'll have an electric fence surrounding them, and they'll be moved every day. So, and they'll be on the grass and have access to fresh air and sunshine. So we're back in with the 1 week old layer chicks. They are starting to feather out on their wings and a few on their backs. They're all doing well, except for one who passed away unexpectedly a few days ago. They're just so cute and sweet. We have a flat of strawberries picked from the garden today. So I've decided to put some in the freezer and make a batch of strawberry jam because they're just lovely to have. We'll do the jam first. You just sort of slice them, and each batch of jam takes 4.5 cups, but you kind of have to mush them up a bit, otherwise you'll have too many chunks in your strawberry jam. So I've got probably a good 5 cups here that are chopped up, and I'll squish them with the masher. It's a 1/4 cup lemon juice. Pour that in. Sugar. You bring your strawberries to a full rolling boil. If it looks like it's going to boil over your pot, you can put 1/8 of a teaspoon of butter in, and that will just grease the top enough of it so that it'll stop foaming too, and you won't have any foam in it. So once the jars are washed, I put them face up on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven at 125 Celsius, which is probably around 250 Fahrenheit. It's just so low. It makes the jars nice and hot. We're going to be putting hot liquid into hot jars. That way it won't crack the glass. Okay, I'll put that in the oven. Jam's at a full rolling boil, and it's getting a bit high, so I'm just putting a little bit of butter in, and that'll slow it right down. And then you let it boil for 1 minute. See how the butter has decreased the rise, even though it's still on a full boil. Yeah. That's a minute. We'll turn off the heat. We'll put in our pectin. So you add your pectin, and you can see that the foam is minimal, and I think it's the butter that makes it the foam go down, and that little tiny bit of butter won't change anything with your jam. And it's important for 6 to 8 or even 10 minutes is to let this cool and stir so that the fruit will you keep stirring so that the fruit will sink to the bottom. And I'm going to get a timer for that. In the meantime, I've boiled a kettle of water, and this pot here has lids in it, and my funnel and the tops. So I'll just cover that. You can't boil the tops because the rubber will get too soft and it might get distorted, and then it won't seal properly to the top of the jars. Yeah. And I love this little tool that I have. It's a little magnet on a plastic stick, so you can reach in and grab your lids and everything sticks. Yeah. There, you want a nice tight lid. Okay, so we keep stirring our strawberries. So we've stirred the strawberries for about 10 minutes. So that's to help settle the fruit so it won't float in the jar. So we'll see how that works. I'll get these out of the oven. I have a lot of jars here, but I am doing 2 batches. So I'll put whatever I don't use back in the oven. looks like it's going to make 7 jars, which is pretty typical. So when you get all the lids on them, just get a nice clean rag and tighten them up as much as you can. And how the fruit is sitting in them right now is how it's going to be when they're done. So you don't disturb them, but if you can see that the fruit is right to the bottom. I'll put those on a towel off to the side and we'll let them cool overnight. I won't disturb them, and we hope that all the jars, the lids pop down, and I'm going to make one more batch. She loves a good scratch. She loves a good scratch, Sacularabelle. You love a good scratching, don't ya? She loves a good scratch. All right. Julie likes to be brushed too. She likes to be brushed too. Yeah. Your mummy's a good mummy. She's a good mummy. She's always looking after you. Yes, she is. She's always looking after you, licking you, cleaning you, feeding you. All wet. You're all wet. Is that your mother's big tongue? Is it? Thanks, Clarabelle, for the licks. Thanks for the... There. Everyone's settled in. Everything's good. Usually leave the light on and I'll come up and check later. And take the eggs with me.